Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Imagine this, you are running a massive business, say, a country. And you've got this incredible product everyone wants, let's say, your cars. Now, what if I told you there's a asterisk secret weapon asterisk many countries use to make their products cheaper, sell more, and supercharge their economy? A weapon that sounds counterintuitive but is incredibly powerful? We are talking about something seemingly negative, a weaker currency. Sounds crazy, right? Why would any country want its money to be worth less? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why a weaker currency can be a deliberate, strategic play, and the surprising impact it has on your wallet. Before we dive into this economic rabbit hole, do me a huge favor. If you are serious about understanding how the world's money really works, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and share this video with anyone who's ever wondered why the price of that imported gadget just keeps changing. Let's get into it. Setting the stage, the paradox explained. So, the core paradox: why would a country deliberately aim for its currency to be weaker? Isn't a strong currency a sign of economic health? Well, yes and no. A strong currency means your money buys more of other countries' goods and services. Great for vacations abroad or buying imported luxury items. But it's a double-edged sword. Visual scale tips heavily towards strong currency. Arrow pointing from strong currency to a very expensive-looking imported car. For a country that exports a lot, that sells its products to the rest of the world, a strong currency makes those products more expensive for foreign buyers. Think about it. If a Japanese car costs 2 million Japanese yen, and the yen is super strong, then for an American buyer, that 2 million yen translates to a much higher dollar amount. Suddenly, that car looks less appealing compared to a domestically produced alternative. But flip that script, if the yen is weak, that same 2 million yen car becomes much cheaper for the American buyer in dollar terms. Now, Japan's cars are a steal. And that, my friends, is the heart of why countries pursue weaker currencies to boost their exports and make them more competitive on the global stage. Devaluation and exports, the export engine. Let's break down this magical transformation with a concept called currency devaluation. It sounds scary, like your money is losing value, and in a way, it is internationally. But domestically, your money still buys roughly the same amount of bread. The key is its exchange rate against other currencies. Imagine the country of exportia. Their currency, the exportio, is currently trading at 1 exportio for $1. Now, exportia makes fantastic widgets, priced at 100 exportios each. For an American, that's $100. But then, exportia's central bank decides to weaken the exportio. Maybe they want to jumpstart their struggling widget industry. They implement policies that cause the exportio to fall to 2 exportios for $1. What just happened? That 100 exportio widget now only costs an American $50. Suddenly, exportia's widgets are incredibly attractive. Foreign buyers rush in, orders flood the factories, production ramps up, and what do you get? More jobs, more economic activity, and a booming export sector. This is the export-led growth strategy in action. Real-world examples: China and Japan, one of the most famous examples of a country that has historically benefited from a carefully managed, often weaker currency is China ***. For decades, China's economic miracle was fueled by its massive export machine. By keeping its currency, the yuan, relatively undervalued against the US dollar, Chinese goods became incredibly cheap for Western consumers. This allowed them to dominate manufacturing and become the world's factory. Another prime example is Japan. After periods of economic stagnation, Japan's central bank, the Bank of Japan, has often pursued policies aimed at weakening the yen. Why? To make their world-renowned exports, think Toyota cars, Sony electronics, more competitive globally. A weaker yen means those Japanese goods are more affordable for international buyers, which boosts sales and supports their industrial giants. And for tourists, a weaker yen means your dollars go further in Japan, making it a more attractive travel destination. The benefits of a weaker currency extend beyond just making exports cheaper. It also plays a crucial role in a country's trade balance ***. The trade balance is simply the difference between a country's total exports and its total imports. When a currency weakens, not only do exports become cheaper for foreigners, but imports become **more expensive for domestic consumers. Why buy an expensive imported car when a locally produced one is now significantly cheaper in relative terms? This encourages domestic consumption of local goods and discourages imports, helping to reduce a trade deficit where imports are greater than exports, or increase a trade surplus where exports are greater than imports. A healthy trade balance is generally seen as a sign of economic stability. And let's not forget tourism. For countries heavily reliant on tourism, a weaker currency is like putting a massive sale sign on their entire nation. Think of a Brazilian vacation when the Brazilian real is weak against the dollar or euro. Suddenly, hotels, meals, tours, and souvenirs are all significantly cheaper for foreign visitors, leading to an influx of tourists and a boost to the local economy. So, how do countries actually achieve a weaker currency? It's not magic, it's economics. The primary tool is often interest rates. When a central bank lowers interest rates, it makes it less attractive for foreign investors to hold that country's currency. Why? Because they'll get a lower return on their investments in that currency. This outflow of foreign capital reduces demand for the currency, causing its value to fall. Another tool is quantitative easing, QE, which is essentially a fancy term for printing more money. When a central bank creates more of its own currency, it increases the supply of that currency in the market, and just like anything else, increased supply with stable demand often leads to a lower price, in this case, a lower exchange rate. Governments can also intervene directly in foreign exchange markets, buying foreign currencies and selling their own to weaken it. And of course, broader economic policies, like stimulating domestic demand or enacting export-friendly regulations, can indirectly influence currency strength. Now, before you think every country should just weaken their currency and become an economic powerhouse, hold on. This secret weapon comes with its own set of dangers and significant downsides. It's a delicate balancing act, and if overdone, the consequences can be severe. Visual graphic of inflation rising with prices on everyday goods going up. The biggest risk is inflation. Remember how imports become more expensive with a weaker currency? Well, for a country that relies heavily on imported goods like oil, raw materials, or even consumer products, a weaker currency means those essential imports now cost significantly more in local currency. This increased cost trickles down to consumers, leading to higher prices across the board. Your daily groceries, your gasoline, that imported smartphone all become more expensive. This erodes your purchasing power and can lead to a decrease in the standard of living. Another major risk is a loss of investor confidence. If a country's currency is perceived as being deliberately devalued too aggressively, or if the devaluation spirals out of control, foreign investors might get nervous. They might pull their money out of that country, fearing further losses, which can trigger an economic crisis. No one wants to invest in a currency that's constantly losing value. Finally, there's the issue of foreign debt. Many countries take out loans in foreign currencies, like US dollars or euros. If their domestic currency weakens significantly against those foreign currencies, the cost of repaying those loans skyrockets in local terms. It's like your mortgage payment suddenly doubling overnight, but on a national scale. This can lead to a severe debt crisis. Think about countries facing debt distress. Often, currency weakness plays a significant role in exacerbating their problems. To illustrate this delicate balance, let's look. Switzerland is famous for its strong, stable currency, the Swiss franc. It's often seen as a safe haven currency during times of global uncertainty. But even Switzerland has faced the opposite problem, a currency that's too strong. For years, the Swiss National Bank, SNB, fought to prevent the franc from becoming too strong. Why? Because the strong franc made Swiss exports incredibly expensive. Think about those luxury Swiss watches. If the franc is too strong, fewer people abroad can afford them, hurting Swiss industries. The SNB even resorted to unconventional measures, like pegging the franc to the euro for a period, just to keep it from appreciating too much and harming their vital export sector. This highlights that currency management is a constant push and pull, a strategic game with high stakes. So, the next time you hear about a country's currency weakening, don't automatically assume it's a sign of weakness. It could be a deliberate, strategic move, a country pulling out its secret economic weapon to boost exports, improve trade, and stimulate growth. But as we've seen, this powerful tool comes with significant risks. The threat of inflation, loss of investor confidence, and a ballooning foreign debt burden. The world of international finance is a complex dance of supply, demand, and strategic decisions, and currency strength is one of the most powerful levers. Understanding these forces helps us make sense of global economic headlines and even our own financial future. What do you think about countries deliberately weakening their currencies? Is it a brilliant strategy or a dangerous gamble? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the fascinating world of finance. Until next time, stay curious and keep learning.